Hey everyone, welcome into another Citrico Central Live. I'm George, the Disney Italiano. Welcome in, everyone. I thought, why not? Let's do another live. I enjoy it. I enjoy, talking with you all. Hopefully, you guys got to catch the collabo live that I did with Orange Grove 55 last night, and it was a good time. And there will be more of those lives where we collab either on his channel or on here on Citrico Central, which we were actually supposed to do one tonight, but unfortunately, OG is having technical issues. So we were going to have a guest on, Sean, who hosts Walt's Apartment, and so we're. I'm just going to do a solo Citrico live at 6:30 tonight with Sean here on Citrico Central. So there's going to be a double live tonight on Citrico. So Mr. Tech Bear says here we are again, and you're just going to keep seeing more of me because, especially today, because I'm doing a live. I'm doing a live now, and 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 I'm doing another one at 6:30. So we're going to be it's live central today. And yes, Mr. Tech Bear, you are the king of lives. And we got my babe Abby in the house. See, she agrees with me. And we got Lucas and Disney in the house. Welcome in, Lucas. And we also have David who says, I'm heading to the Disneyland Hotel today. Awesome. Super happy for you, but also super jealous at the same time. You get to stay at the Disneyland Hotel. That is awesome. I still have not yet stayed at a Disneyland Resort hotel. It is on my bucket list. But, maybe in the soon near future that could change. We'll definitely have to wait and see. But yeah, so there's going to be a double live tonight on Citrico Central. The one we're doing now, and then again at 6:30. So by the time I'm done with this one, shortly after, be having another one with Sean from Walt's Apartment joining me on that live as well. So yeah, so it's which that's going to be an interesting one because that one in particular, we're going to kick off with some news that has released from Disney, which I won't discuss it on here because obviously I'll save it for the live at 6:30 with Sean. But hopefully we can get some new updated details on the projects that's going to be coming to the Disneyland Resort, primarily at Disney California Adventure. And we got Sean in the house, double live. Let's do this. See you soon, buddy. Yes, soon. Great to have you on, Sean, and I will see you at 6:30, my friend. And yeah, so it's going to be great. Can't wait. And as I said, I love doing these lives. I love interacting with all of you. I love taking your questions. I love hearing your thoughts, comments, opinions, concerns, all that good jazz. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well today. And so yeah, so it's very interesting, like in the how things are run nowadays, like with the parks, especially with social media, because there was a point of time where there was no social media. So we literally found out when things were being built. It's like, or they announce it, on the AOL dial-up back in those days, and now Disney with with D23 and social media and everyone and content creators, influencers, YouTubers, all that good jazz, such as myself, likes to cover all of it. So we like to get the juicy news, the scoop, and so now it's almost like Disney is now in a position that they put themselves as an obligation that, like, when they say, hey, we have an announcement, we're expecting something big. So it's going to be very interesting to say. I will just say this. I won't get into the specifics again until the 6:30 live with Sean. But there's going to be a special that's going to air on ABC, and then also on Disney Plus on Hulu. And it is titled, and I want to get the title correct, so give me 1 second. It's called The Happiest Story on Earth, 70 Years of Disneyland. And they are anticipating on the possibility that, they said there's going to be new updated information on the Avengers expansion, Coco, and Pandora. So what that actually means, I have no idea. Is it just kind of giving us little trickles of information, just to get people to view the special? Or are we going to get significant amount of information? I don't know. As I said, I got to stop talking about this because I'm going to be saving it for the live. But one more thing I'll say on the matter is they're already full hyperdrive, no pun intended, on the Avengers expansion. Coco starts construction at the end of this year, and Pandora starts next year. So if they have some significant announcements they need and want to make, now would be the time. And this is, and I agree with OG on this. This is probably why we didn't get too much of Disneyland information at the Destination D23 event, because they have a special coming out specifically for the Disneyland Resort with all this information. So if they announced it all then, they're not going to announce it, during the special. It's not going to mean anything. That's what we're hoping with this. And that premieres on September 21st. So we have to wait and see. I mean, we only have like 5 days. So the fact that they made that announcement today and we're 5 days out is, it's going to be interesting. Going to be interesting indeed. So we'll just wait a little bit, see if we can get some more people into the chat. But yeah, so again, hope everybody's day is going well. This was kind of a spontaneous live. As I said, I enjoy the live, so I thought, you know what? Let's jump on, see what we could do, see what kind of havoc we can make. And then I was scheduled to do the live this evening, which just turned into a Citrico Central solo. But I am going to do a collab with Sean. It's going to be a joint live on Walt's apartment as well. So that should be cool beans. But in any case, for future news update on the channel, Abby and I will be going back down to Disneyland. We're going to do the Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit, which I guess is like some sort of scavenger hunt. We're going to do, and we're going to try to do that live so you guys can join us in on the activity. And we're probably going to do it multiple times. We're going to do the one at DCA, and we're going to do the one at Disneyland. They also have the one at Downtown Disney, but I don't know if we'll do that one. We'll see. But we're definitely doing the two inside the parks, which is kind of cool. It's always fun to do some sort of like out of like every time we go into the parks. It's just like the typical, you go on the rides, you walk around, get a churro, get some popcorn. But now we're going to do like this fun activity. And Abby says it's like an egg hunt, but finding pumpkins. So that's cool. So you go around the park and you try to, so it's a pumpkin hunt. So that's cool. So we're going to be doing that. Also, if you are a member, I posted, in the tab a members poll of what you guys would like to see for future membership only content. And so I'm getting some insight on that of what you guys would like to see, and I will take that into strong consideration. And we'll probably be doing a little bit of all, but we'll pick the highest one as like first priority. For sure. And then again, also a lot more regular content coming out. So it's basically just waiting for, Disney to kind of drop the news ball, and then we can start getting into the breaking news stuff all over again. Let's see. Shane Narani, welcome in. Honestly, I don't expect much from the 70th special show except updating the general public of what's coming who might not be in the know. See, that's interesting, and uh, that's where it's like I'm crossing my fingers with it, but that's where it's like I'm not like clutching onto that to say, okay, that's what it's going to be. Because, Disney has done it before where it's like we think we're going to get these big news breaks, and it's not. I mean, technically, look at Destination D23. I mean, the fact that they didn't even stream the villains panel, and it really had nothing to do much about nothing. They could have just done it to everybody. There was nothing, we didn't know. Like, I thought maybe there would be, like, do we get a name of the land, name of the ride, which villains are going to be incorporated, maybe a restaurant. Like, it was like nothing. Like, they are in the so early stages of Villains Land. It's like, which is fine. But again, if you're going to charge people for a premium event that people were willing to travel to, and then they spend all the money on airfare and hotel, on the tickets themselves, it's like you have to deliver. And I honestly feel like with Destination D23, they really honestly should just drop that altogether. If that is the route that they're going to go. If they would just do Destination when it used to be Destination D, if they would just keep it at that and just pick one form of what it's supposed to be, like if it's about a special anniversary for animation or, something or other, then that's cool. But when you kind of like throw a bunch of different aspects of the company all into one, and you kind of into one event, and you kind of call it a mini expo, you kind of have to still deliver on the goods, especially if you're going to, up the ante of the price and what have you. And they also, like, they moved it to a much bigger venue, sold much more tickets. It could hold a lot more people. And it's like, it still didn't, move anything. So I do agree with you, Shane. I think I'm optimistic. I'm hesitant, but you do make a good point where it may just be for the normies that, may not watch or cover all this stuff on an every given day like we do. And they may just be finding out about it now. It's like, oh, there's going to be a Coco family boat ride. Awesome. Oh, Pandora's going into Disneyland. Awesome. And not Disneyland Park, but Disneyland Resort. And oh, Avengers Campus is getting an expansion. I didn't even know the Avengers was out at DCA, like that kind of stuff. So that's going to be, it's going to be interesting. I mean, I'll watch the special just because I love watching that kind of stuff. But hopefully with the anticipation that we get some sort of news. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, I'll be covering on that a little bit more with Sean at the 6:30 Citrico Central Live, and definitely get his takes on it as well. Not even just with the whether or not he feels like new, bigger information is going to drop during the special, but just how Disney is approaching with all this news drop. Because it honestly seems like, unless it's the D23 Ultimate Fan Event, which, I mean, mind you, in 2022, we didn't get a whole lot either, but I think Disney learned their lesson on that one. So moving forward, I feel like with the D23 Ultimate Fan Event, that unless it's that, or Disney just randomly drops news on the Disney Parks blog on any given day, that's when we can anticipate on big news. Sort of like how they did with the announcement with like the Disney animation building coming back to Disney's Hollywood Studios, the what is the other thing? The Hong Kong news that just dropped a few days ago. They just dropped it randomly, and then of course all the news that dropped even before Destination D23. So I feel like if they're setting up like something where there's like a TV special or a streaming special or another event outside of the D23 Ultimate Fan event, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the answer that we're all going to be looking for. So I either feel like it's going to be the Ultimate Fan event or just Disney dropping news on the Disney Parks blog. Let's see here. We got Mr. Garcia, ELA 9. Are the casual Disney fans enough to pay money and in some cases travel to go to an event like D23 just to see little to mid updates / info? I wouldn't think so. Very good question. And welcome in, Mr. Garcia. Glad to have you in. Yeah, here's the thing with D23, the Ultimate Fan event. A lot of people mistaken that as just, okay, it's general theme park news. Yes, we do get the biggest news announcements for the one of the biggest presentations during that event. But there are other aspects to the D23 Ultimate Fan event that a lot of people come out for. A lot of people come out to shop, buy the exclusive D23 merchandise in the stores. A lot of people love coming to cosplay and be a part of the Masquerade costume contest. A lot of people just come out just to walk the expo showroom floor, and see all the stuff from the Walt Disney Archives and all that stuff. So to answer your question, the casual Disney fan, if they're like literally coming out, I feel like that for like the big news, I feel like is more so for the people like us that like literally follow this stuff on like every single day. Like a typical normie or a casual Disney fan, I don't think would go out of their way to come to just hear the park news. They may hear the park news, but I feel like that they want a whole entire Disney experience around the D23 Ultimate Fan event. But again, very good question, Mr. Garcia. And again, welcome in. And we got Mr. Tech Bear. Disney fans would go to the opening of a bag if it was a limited edition. That is very true. Yes, I feel like again the diehard Disney fans like us is very true. It is really true. I mean, I remember doing the coverage on when they dropped the Figment popcorn bucket at Epcot, and literally it was like a 4 to 5 hour wait just to get that popcorn bucket. And it's cute, it's nice, but is anybody talking about it now? No. But it was like hot. It was a hot ticket item in the moment, and it's like, well, after waiting 4 hours, like what's the big deal now? I mean, unless people want to like buy multiples of them and try to like sell them on eBay or something, which there are people who do. And there are people like that who go to the D23 fan event and they'll buy out all the exclusive limited edition merchandise, and they'll literally walk out. Like they'll line up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, get into the Anaheim Convention Center, do all their shopping. And at the time we're walking in at like 9 a.m., 8 a.m., they're walking out with like 15 bags full of stuff. And then you jump online and it's like it's all sold for triple and quadruple the price on eBay. And it's like that's what a lot of people do as well. And then you have the people who've been waiting in line and all this stuff is sold out, and then they have no choice but to go on and buy it from a third party selling system, which there are people who do just so they can get their hands on the merchandise that they want, So it's a dog eat dog world out there when it comes to like the Disney exclusive limited edition merchandise, for sure. For sure. But Kev, that's a great analogy that us Disney fans would go to the opening of a bag if it was limited edition. That is very true, though. Like literally, all you have to do is just say something is limited, like limited edition, and that's it. It's like people will go stark raving mad over it. And we got Candid Campers, theme park thoughts in the house. Welcome in, Candid Camper. Always glad to see you, bro. But yeah, it's like there's so many different aspects to D23 that, it's funny you say that, Candid, because I was actually going to make a joke. I was going to say, hell, maybe I should just like write across my forehead limited edition of the Italiano, and maybe make myself limited edition. Each one of my chest hairs. It does make me wonder that if I did like put like a chest hair in like a little vial cap and just like sell them off individually. That yeah, see, there you go. Sell them in a vial. That's literally two great minds think alike. Love it. But in any case, yeah, with D23, there's so many different aspects of D23 that a lot of people go for, and you have to go with the mindset that you can't see it all, can't do it all, because there's things that overlap in like the time frame. Hell, maybe you won't be able to make it at all, because I mean, chances are getting tickets nowadays is like hard to come by. And we got Mademoiselle in the house. Hi, George. I'm being a bad employee right now, watching your live and not working. Well, you know what, Mademoiselle? I greatly appreciate it. And honestly, I probably would do the same, so I can't blame you. Candy Camper said, people buy farts, LOL. Let's see. Mr. Tech Bear, I was friends with a former D23 staff member, and one important thing that I learned is that we are the minority and that the expo and events are actually geared towards the normies. That is very true. That is very true, because it is like one of those things where they're trying to gain people to become a diehard Disney fan. They don't need to prove anything to us. We'll go anyway, and that's why we get so pissed off as fans, because it's like, well, how come you're not trying to impress us? Because Disney knows they don't need to impress us, but we want that impression. So yeah, they definitely do gear towards the normies for all this stuff, because they try to gain their attention on it. And as I said last year, I was a bit, over, confident that I was going to get a ticket, which again, huge shout out to Lucas Kim. I will always be grateful to him, to the fact of that if it wasn't for him, I would not have been able to go to last year's D23 event, which I'm so glad that I did, because I had a phenomenal time with him, OG, Jason Hill, all the great people that we got to meet and talk with. And that's also the beauty part with D23. I love going to just be in the atmosphere of diehard Disney fans and people that share the same common interest as me, and just meet people and conversate and everything. And now that I have my own YouTube channel, I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of that. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, as I said, I'm going to be optimistic, but I'm not going to be overly confident that, I can get a ticket for next year's big event. Let's see. So Mademoiselle said, did I miss big Disney news? What's the current tea? And then, of course, Kev is like, we're just talking about how amazing I am. Absolutely. And Kev, you are amazing. And really, I do genuinely mean that. I mean, you've been, a huge supporter of both OG and I, for as long as I can remember. And to call you a very good friend is, I mean, you're up there, bud. Let's see. So Candy Camper says, I heard a rumor about the old Innovations building turning into a Spirit Halloween store. Is that true? You know what? Anytime that there's like open buildings, I'm for sure like anything could become a Spirit Halloween store. I mean, I think during Christmas, if there's a vacant building, it would become a Spirit Halloween store, um, to say the least. But Mademoiselle, to go back to your question, the only piece of news I will say, and again, we are going to be doing a second live on Citrico Central. Me and Sean from Walt's apartment are going to dive into a little bit more on his thoughts on uh, the special that's going to be airing on ABC and on Disney Plus and Hulu about Disneyland. And they did say that they are going to release news on the upcoming projects that are happening around the Disneyland Resort. Now, again, how much of that and really how significant is it going to be to us diehard Disney fans, or is it leaning more towards the normies? So we'll definitely have to wait and see, indeed. Yes, we will. And I tell you what, as soon as something drops, as soon as news drops, it'll be covered here on Citrico Central. I will get it out to you guys as quickly as I possibly can. And actually, while I do want to ask all of you, because again, I did mention that I did a members poll on the YouTube tab to see what kind of content that for members only of what they would want to see. But I also want to ask everyone for the regular Citrico Central family, what kind of content moving forward in the future you guys would like to see in general. Do you want to see more dining reviews? Do you want to see more activities in the park that me and Abby do? For instance, as I said, her and I will be doing the for all of you that are just tuning in now, the Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit, which is basically like as what Abby calls it, like an egg hunt, but with pumpkins around the Disneyland and DCA parks. So we're going to be doing that. So do you want to see more of that? Do you want any suggestions, any comments? I won't, take them lightly. I will definitely very much, consider it. And if it seems like it can work out and it could, become a form of content, I'd be like, yep, I will deliver it for you guys. So if you guys have any ideas, definitely throw them my way. Also, too, speaking that Candid Camper is on live, I got to speak to him yesterday, and we're going to collab here on Citrico Central. I'm not going to say specifically yet. Still ironing out the kinks with him. But there's going to be kind of like a new segment that's going to incorporate him coming on Citrico Central. And I think it'd be kind of interesting. So definitely check that out once we iron out the details on that. Let's see. Candy Camper says, would like to see you guys do a race, most rides in a certain amount of time. Ooh, that's interesting. So now when you say a race, so you're saying like do as many rides as we can to beat the clock, or are you saying like I would do like how many rides I can do in a certain amount of time and how many rides Abby can do in a certain amount of time? That's interesting. See, I can't wait for another Abby cardio marathon. Yeah, cardio in Disneyland with Abby. That'd be actually a fun segment. That would be. Actually, I probably would title that too. Cardio in Disneyland with Abby. That would be the title. That would be the title. Let's see. Mr. Garcia, are they giving a prize for the pumpkin hunt like they do for the egg hunt? I think they do have like little prizes. Abby, correct me if I'm wrong. They do have like some sort of like little prizes if you complete them, right? I'm assuming they do. Let's see. Candy Camper says you get an hour of time and you go against each other. Okay, it's a little cornhole game. So that's the prize you get. That's the prize you get. Again, it's all just in fun, but yeah, you get a little. I wish that they had like a limited. Speaking of limited editions, like it would have been nice if they had like a limited edition, like Pluto's Pumpkin Pursuit pin. Like that would be cool. But we get a little cornhole game. Oh my gosh. Um, okay, so sorry, Candid, going back. You get an hour and you go against each other. Okay, so we would have 1 hour, we time it, and then I would go do rides, and then Abby would go do rides. Um, okay, so so if we did it like that, I'm trying to think of how I would be able to film that. So I guess probably if we did do that, I would film my portion and then Abby would film hers, like just regularly, like on our phones, and then I would just edit it in all together. That would be interesting. That'd be one hell of a long video. But hey, you know what? I'm up for the challenge. You know, I'm cool with it. Let's see. Shane Narani, just as the race is not running through the park, that might be painful. Yeah, if there's like any like running involved, like I don't, my knees and ankles can't handle that anymore. See, got to get back to work. Thank you, George, for everything and the shout out. Can't wait to make some magic. Absolutely, Candid. Thanks for hopping in, bud. And I will be in contact with you for the segment that will be added to Citrico Central. Indeed. Kiki and Luca in the house. Welcome in, Kiki and Luca. Always glad to have you in. Let's see, Mademoiselle. That's a good idea, Candid. But maybe like a photo scavenger hunt that the members create. Now that would be cool. That would be actually kind of cool. Like if you guys gave us like a list, like gave us a list, and we would then literally like go around and try to find said items or what have you, and then we take a picture or we video it, because we would then do it as a video, so you would see it on the video. That'd be cool. Yeah, table cornhole. Yeah, Abby does want the Stitch one. We went over to the table to get some information on the game, and they do show the little prizes, and they do have a Stitch cornhole, and I knew for a fact that's what Abby would want. Let's see. Rides would be too long. Well, I guess that would depend on too. Like, I guess that's the challenge, to see how many rides you could do within the hour, because that would be the strategy. Because I can't give the strategy that I would do, because if I do and we really do the challenge, then Abby would steal it from me. So but like if you were to do a strategy of like doing specific rides that would be a short amount of time, as opposed to doing a long one. So it's like if I was to look at, just say, Rise of the Resistance and say, oh, this is a 65-minute wait, I can't waste my time on this. Like, and then the ride itself takes like 15 minutes, so you have to be strategic about that stuff. Let's see. Candid said, we would see you scatter and hear all the thoughts of trying to figure out lines and what ride to go on next. Absolutely. Yeah, Abby's like, nope, she's not running. Let's see. Should I go to the parks tomorrow or be a responsible adult and do laundry? Well, here's my thing, Kev. I always say laundry will always be there. And I know Disneyland will always be there. But you know what? I knowing me, I would pick the parks. That's me every time. Oh man. But yeah, so that's yeah, so yeah, to answer your question, Kev, go to the parks. Go have fun. Let's see, Kiki and Luca. Let's see. What do you think is required to be a YouTube channel creator? If you were going to break it down into percentages, would it be part experience, charisma, knowledge? Ooh, that's a good one. Good question, Kiki and Luca. For me, I think it's a little bit all of the above. I feel like it also depends on too what your niche is. Because to be a YouTube channel creator, like obviously my interest is covering all things like with Disney and the theme parks and the entertainment industry, where I know a lot of people are iffy on like how they like it, but there's people that are into ASMR. You know, actually, I am into ASMR. I actually like it. It's very relaxing if you watch the correct videos. I do not like the ASMR chewing videos, like hearing like loud chewing. That does not relax me. That just makes me annoyed. But there are ASM artists, that's what they call them, that I mean, they earn a living on it. And I think it all depends on too, again, like whatever context that you want to be as a YouTube creator, it goes by the knowledge of what you're covering. And that's another thing too, why I do this is because I've been following Disney for years. I've been doing research and knowing the history for how many years and still following the company with all breaking news aspects. So it's like if I was to do a YouTube channel on farming, like I wouldn't know where to start because I don't have a green thumb. Like it's like I think it also I think it does go by knowledge of like what you're covering. I think also again what you had mentioned, Kiki and Luca, experience of like if it's something that you knew about and it's something that you want to bring to other people. And then it also goes by personality. I think personality goes a long way, that even if there's something that you're still learning in the content world, I think as long as you have a great personality and you know you're a people person and you know how to talk to your audience and get them involved and incorporating them in the conversation, I think so to sum it all up, Kiki and Luca, again, great question. I think it's all of the above, for sure. Mademoiselle says self-care, Kev. Yep, see, got to. Shane Arani, you can always bring your clothes and wash it in the rivers of America. That is very true. That is very true. I mean, we still got the river. So was that too soon? I don't know. Maybe. And actually, that would be a cool title, Laundry at the Parks. Can you imagine if someone were to bring in their laundry and literally just and do it like the old fashioned way and just put it on the board and just like wash it? Like, oh man. I should and send videos to my Walt Disney World friends. Oh, they would love that, Kev. They would love that. And at what point did you feel you got really good at it? Oh, that's another good question. So I started out just at audio only, doing a podcast. Well, several podcasts, actually. I was part of 2 podcasts which didn't really get up off the ground, which I'm glad that they didn't, because that's when I was just starting, and you could just hear it in my voice that I was like so nervous that like, because it was something that I've never done before. And then I moved into another podcast, which is still going on to this day. It's called the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. And I did that for almost 2 years. And it was audio only. And I started getting into, so after doing that for almost 2 years, I felt like, okay, now I'm getting better at this. I want to be able to express myself more. I want people to know who I am, not just a voice. I wanted them to see the person behind the voice and everything and interact with people more. So I was going in a different direction than what the podcast was. So I bowed out gracefully after almost 2 years. And around the time closer to the end, while I was still on the podcast, I became friends with OG, because I've been watching him literally from the very beginning. I was watching his videos, and actually he's the one that kind of inspired me of how I would go about doing going in front of the camera, because when he first started, it was literally him in front of his bookcase talking to the audience, and I'm like, okay, this guy, like, this is kind of like what I want to do. And it was during when I was still on the Grand Circle tour, we were doing a holiday podcast show where we were inviting people who influenced us, to this realm of YouTube and influencers and all that. So I messaged him on Twitter, at the time it's still Twitter, and asked him if he would be my special guest on our holiday show, and he did, and had him on, and then he asked me to guest on his, which was several months later, and Abby actually ended up telling me which date that was. It was March 26th, 2019, because she was watching Orange Grove 55 as well, so that's how she ended up finding me and watching me on my first show on there again. And then she just kind of started developing a thing for me. Then it was the jean jacket, gotta love the jean jacket. But that's how she ended up, knowing who I was. And then I became, I left Grand Circle Tour podcast, and then I joined Orange Grove 55 full time, and we would collab, a lot of times. And at that time I was Disney family man. And then after my divorce in 2023, I rebranded myself as the Disney Italiano. And but the first time actually OG and I actually physically met in person was at the 2019 D23 Expo. So we were collaborating before that, but we never actually met in person. That was the first time we actually physically met in person. So to kind of again wrap it up, I know I probably extended the question, the answer to the question, Kiki and Luca, but I think there's always room for growth. You never want to be at the top, because you can't climb any further than the top. You can only go down. I always like to keep myself at a pace where I'm comfortable of what I'm doing, but there's always room to learn and grow and get better at what you do. Let's see. And Mr. Lucas and Disney is back. Welcome back, Lucas. Let's see. Abby says, it is in Frontierland, so old school laundry at Disney. Yeah, see, it fits right in with the theme. And then Mr. Tech Bear says, that's brotastic. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, Kiki and Luca, those were some great questions. I love those kind of questions. If anybody, I love, again, I'm an attention whore, as you guys probably already know, but I love interviewing someone. I love being able to do that, but I also love being interviewed. If someone were to say, hey, would you like to come on, and we would like to know more about you, and we want to know, where your journey began and how it's going and everything, and where'd you get started. I love that. I would love to be the interviewer or the interviewee. I love that. Yeah, absolutely, Kiki and Luca. And as I said, any other questions like that, I absolutely love those. Let's see, Mr. Tech Bear, George, I too met OG the first time at the 2015 Expo. His hair spiked and glistening in the glow of the fluorescent lights of the Anaheim Convention Center. You know what's funny, Kev? That literally sounds like a line that you would find in a book, like a novel. It is it's so crisp into detail. His hair spiked and glistening in the glow of the fluorescent lights of the Anaheim Convention Center. That's George likes to talk. Let's be honest. Yes, I do. I love the talk. If I could honestly have my own talk show, I would kill at that. I would love it. And here's the funny thing with that. I don't know if any of you know this. OG knows this. Abby knows this. And a few other people know this. But believe it or not, I used to be introverted. I know that's very hard to like I would not. A lot of people didn't even know I had a voice, like that I could actually talk. And it wasn't until my 5th grade graduation, where I was going into middle school. They had us all write like an essay of like our years in the elementary school. And again, I also love to read and write. And my essay stood out to the teachers, that, they would have loved me to speak to my peers, to the parents, to the faculty, and read my essay. And I don't know what possessed me to say yes, but I did. And sure enough, I got up on stage, I got up to the podium, to the mic, and the rest was history. And like, I was nervous, but then when I looked out and I noticed that all eyes were on me, and I thought, I have everybody's undivided attention. They have to listen to me. And everyone was respectful. They were quiet. They listened. And since then, I just became kind of like that center of attention kind of thing, where I love to talk. I do. As I said, I would love my own talk show and literally just call it the Italiano. That's what I would do. Airing on ABC. Let's see. Yeah, Abby says, I don't believe him when he says he was introverted. Yeah, it actually was true. I was introverted. Let's see. Shane Arani. The old time expo where you would smell so great after sleeping overnight on the convention room floor. Oh yeah, I remember that faintly because I tried to forget it. I literally spent over 24 hours down in the basement of the Anaheim Convention Center, and it was for the 2019. It was for the 2019 and the 2022 Parks panel, and both of them were okay. But it was like, did I really just spend 24 hours on a cement basement floor for this? I'm like, what am I doing? We got Lene Ward in the house. Welcome back, Lene. We definitely missed you. You and Mark, we miss you in the lives. So I hope you're both doing well. And it's always glad to see you. And we also have Remy D. What's up, Remy D? Let's see. We are in the middle of moving to the unit across the hall, so we haven't caught up. Yeah, Mark jumped on our joint live yesterday, and he was saying like you guys were in the middle of a move. And actually, it was funny. I was going to message you and just to check in to make sure that you guys were doing okay, because we haven't heard from you in a while. But yeah, so glad you're doing well, and hopefully the move isn't too harsh on you, because I know how moving is. It's rough. Moving is rough. Let's see. But yeah, so yeah, I'm so glad that they changed that with the D23 Expo, where we don't have to sleep 24 hours on the cement floor. Oh my gosh, that was ugh. Let's see, Lucas. George, would you have been upset to hear my talk about Mythos and Lost Continent and be speechless last night during my live? Only time he'd be introverted. Yeah, so yeah, you would have my direct attention. I'm very curious. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to see your live, Lucas. I hope it went well. I don't know if you actually gave all your. I'm going to have you on. I should have you on Citrico Central, and we'll definitely talk about it for sure. Because I'm very curious for you to spill all your thoughts out. That'd be fun. See, we will be back. Awesome. Yeah, can't wait to have you and Mark back. I was just saying, like, it was so fun, like, watching the two of you kind of like banter back and forth and everything when we go live in the parks. It's always fun. But just to catch you up, Lene, that I am now monetized So the channel has reached a new milestone, and I created memberships and everything. So whenever you get a chance, you can kind of look back and see, everything that's been going on. But everything's been going well, and again, I can't wait to have you and Mark back on. It's going to be a great time. Let's see. Remy D. Did you guys talk about the extended refurb with Jurassic River Adventure at IOA? No, we have not. We have not talked about it, and I'm glad you brought that up, Remy D, because thank God, because it's one of those things where I love the classic Jurassic Park. Don't get me wrong, I do. But that ride at IOA needs some TLC. I mean, that it's been literally literally since the park opened in 1999 that it really didn't get. I mean, of course it got like tune-ups and touch-ups here or there, but I mean, I'm assuming that it's going to become like the Jurassic World that's out here in Hollywood. I'm very curious. I can't wait to go to Universal Beijing, because I really want to see the Jurassic World with the Jeep where the dinosaur is like walking towards you. Oh man, like that's going to be perfecto. But it is going to be kind of sad because we are planning a trip done in March. And I mean, I could get Jurassic out here, so I guess it really wouldn't be too bad. But in the Florida heat, I want as much water rides as possible. But we'll have Dudley Do Right's Ripsaw Falls and Popeye and Bluto's if we want to get wet. That is the one thing I do love about Islands of Adventure is it's one of the top-notch theme parks in a sense in the Central Florida area that actually has like multiple water rides. Like Animal Kingdom has Cali River Rapids. Sometimes you can get wet, sometimes you can't. Magic Kingdom has Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which you don't get wet, not compared to the one out here. Epcot doesn't really have. I mean, they have the Moana walkthrough, and Hollywood Studios has nothing. So it's like I do love that about IOA, that they have multiple water rides for sure. But also too, Remy D, I'm going to touch more on this with Jared from Capture the Magic. I am going to be doing a show with him. I believe tomorrow. I don't know. I'm pondering if it's going to be just I think I'm just going to do a regular recording. We're going to dive into a lot more stuff that he's been covering on Capture the Magic, but I'm going to have him on Citrico Central. So we're going to dive into all that good stuff. So I definitely want to ask him on this as well, but I'm super excited that Jurassic Park River Adventure is going to get some TLC. I'm so glad to see actually that now that Epic is opened, that both of these, both the original parks are going to get like some love now too. And we have Robert Colton Jr. in the house. Welcome in, Robert. So glad to have you in. Mythos will be a huge loss for IOA. While the food is nothing super special, the atmosphere is wonderful. That is the one thing that I actually am going to miss. I am going to miss Mythos. The fact that the rest of the land, I mean, it is, 5 acres. They don't have the Sinbad stunt show. They don't have the Poseidon's Fury anymore. So, but Mythos. Now, here's the thing. I do love the char grilled octopus legs, and I do love the mushroom risotto, I believe. But yeah, I love the atmosphere. It literally felt like you were done in this like Greek mythology cavern kind of thing. I absolutely loved it. Now, if they can kind of keep that overall look, but just surround it with an IP that would work for it, I'd be all for it, but the fact, I just hope that they don't turn it into like a modern day contemporary kind of like IKEA looking restaurant. I call it IKEA because that's what even a lot of these hotel rooms are looking like nowadays. There's nothing unique or special about them. They, as I said, they just look like IKEA. Let's see, Lene Ward. At one point, we got the couch stuck in between the door frames between the units. Excited to get settled so we can resume being super fans. Awesome. And you know what? Lene, you said you got the couch stuck in between the door frame. I have to. I'm sorry. It's right there. That's why you have to pivot, pivot, pivot. I'm sorry. I had to. For all of you who are fans of the sitcom Friends, you'll know why. And gotta love. That's one of my favorite scenes in all of the show is when David Schwimmer, Jennifer Aniston, and the late great Matthew Perry were trying to get the couch up the stairs, and they were kind of like trying to angle it to get it up to the next flight of stairs, and he's just like pivot. So again, I had to do it. Let's see. Remy D, I think Mythos is cool, but I'm sure whatever Universal is replacing it with will be the same quality or better. That's what I'm hoping to. I think for how detailed that restaurant is, they can't just turn it into like another like diner or what have you. Let's see. And we got Jacob Weller in the house. Welcome in, Jacob. So glad to have you in. Let's see. Jacob says, what do you think about Nickelodeon Hotel? No news. So for me, I mean, I do know of like the Nickelodeon Hotel, but I don't really know too much coverage on it. That is something I would like to consider maybe like doing a vlog on, like, cause it is something that I'm not like familiar with. And a lot of times when I'm not familiar with something, that drives me all the more to want to go and experience it. So that way my experience, I could film it and bring it to all of you guys. So yeah, again, unfortunately, Jacob, I don't know really too much of the Nickelodeon Hotel, but that is something that I would like to consider. I don't know, maybe like doing like a resort, review on one of these times. That would be really cool. Another couple places I do want to eventually visit is I definitely want to go to Dollywood. I definitely want to see that. And Knoebels. Those two are like classic amusement parks, and, just to kind of, again, just, see some different sights, see some different scenes, try some different food, and then also bring our experiences to you. That would be really cool. Let's see. We got Matthew Murr all the way from the UK. Welcome in, Matthew. Which Star Wars movie do you think has the best soundtrack? Individual tracks won't count in this case. For me, see, I still like the classic, like original John Williams score for Star Wars. But I also love the prequel soundtracks. So, I mean, especially like the battle between Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Darth Maul, like that, like that, like I just, it was such like a buildup of like anticipation. By the way, Abby, bless you. She sneezed. She's in the room, but I actually heard her sneeze. So, let's see. Remy D. I'm hoping this refurb equals Jurassic World Adventure from Beijing, but I'll take the Hollywood Jurassic World. Yeah, that would be phenomenal if we got the one from Beijing. Like, I would I would literally, if someone were to ask me, what is something that you would, literally, because now that I live over on the West Coast, that you would fly over to the East Coast, I would fly over to the East Coast just to experience that if we get the Jurassic World Adventure from Beijing. Absolutely. See, Robert Colton Jr. See, I love the Hollywood version of Jurassic World, but love the classic River Adventure at IOA. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it definitely needs the TLC, but I love the classic Jurassic Park. I wish that they would even do like the Jurassic Park Adventure from Beijing, but just do it around the classic Jurassic Park instead of Jurassic World. Let's see. Robert Colton Jr. continues. Does the Hollywood Jurassic have a bigger drop than River Adventure at IOA? Oh, good question. That's actually a good question. I don't really know. I'm trying to remember because I've been on Jurassic out here more than the one in Florida, but you don't really get wet that much out here. I thought we got a little bit wet. I think, and I could be wrong, I think that the drop is a little bit bigger in IOA than out here. I think. Do not quote me. I have to look at that, Robert. That's very. I'm curious now. Lene Ward, I know I keep commenting off topic, but this is so nice to escape the gross real world. Thank you. Well, thank you, Lene. I greatly appreciate you. I'm so glad to see you back on. As I said, we definitely missed you for sure. And so glad that we can kind of like break you out of the real world realm and put you in a nice, relaxed, fun, conversational environment. Shane Narani, what I remember of the Jurassic River Adventure is sitting in front and getting absolutely soaked head to toe. Luckily, it was summer, so I was dry again in about an hour. Yeah, I remember getting completely soaked on the one in IOA. I didn't get wet. I think I got like splashed, but like nothing like too extravagant out here. But I think IOA's drop is much bigger. And Abby said pivot. Let's see. We were yelling pivot when we were dislodging it. That was exactly what we thought too. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you're moving furniture, especially a couch, and it's like getting stuck in a doorway or a stairway or something, you have to shout pivot. Yeah, you just have to. Kiki and Luca, have you seen the Tron overlay? What do you think? Great question, Kiki and Luca. Yes, I have seen the Tron overlay. I like it. I think it's a nice little extra perk that they can add to the attraction because there's not really a whole lot that they can do with that. I mean, unless, more so because of the new movie coming out. But other than that, there's nothing really that they can like upgrade to. So like, why not promote the movie by giving a little bit of an extra tweak with the ride? And then of course, like with the score soundtrack from Nine Inch Nails, I think is like it's different. It's cool that like you can have like a different experience with the Tron attraction. I just wish that Tron was a little bit longer, in my opinion. Like, because I do love the thrill of it. I do love the feel of being on the light cycle. I just want to have more of it. It kind of gives me the same impression how it is with the Mummy out here in Universal Hollywood. It's fun. I enjoy it, but it's over way too soon. It's too short. So and we don't even know really if the Mummy is going to have too much time out here. I don't know as far as in Universal Studios Orlando, but I have a feeling the Mummy is going to be on the chopping block very soon here for future development. Kiki Luca, is getting Express worth it for Epic Universe? Do you think a faltering economy will affect attendance in either Walt Disney World, Universal Florida, or Anaheim Disneyland? Great question. So I can only speak upon our experience with it. Abby and I did get Express for Epic Universe. Now, this was at the time when Epic Universe first opened. We literally went opening weekend. We were supposed to go opening day, but I ended up in the hospital with my kidney stones and all that fiasco. But we were able to go opening weekend still, luckily. And when we went, we only used the Express twice just for the sake of using it. Like we used it on Yoshi and Monsters Unchained. That was it. Just because we could. Yoshi was like a 15-minute wait, and Monsters Unchained was a 10-minute wait. So I ended up contacting customer service, and very nice woman that I spoke to. I have to say, she was like top-notch quality in customer service for Universal Orlando. And she ended up refunding us the whole entire kit and caboodle. Because it's funny that she actually went back into the computer system and she could actually see where we scanned in for the Express. And she said, "Oh, you only used it twice, and you used it for Yoshi and Monsters Unchained." And she even knew what the wait times were at the time we scanned in. And she said, Monsters was only 10 and Yoshi was only 15. And I said, yeah, we just scanned it because we didn't really want to waste it. But I said, it feels like we already did waste it because we didn't need it. So, I mean, it was over like $600 some that we got refunded back. And she said I could use it as credit, moving forward, but I wasn't sure when we were going to be back next. And again, I don't know if I was even going to be able to need it then. So I just took the full amount back just in cash. But as of now, I don't know if really Express is really needed right now, because it feels like the theme parks they're busy. They're healthy busy, but I don't feel like it is like overly packed where you need all this stuff. I don't know. Like I have to, I'm curious about it because I am still considering if it is going to be needed in March when we go, if we need the Express, but I'm not 100% sure because we didn't need it the last time. And we didn't need it for Walt Disney World either. I don't think we used anything of like Fast Pass, like Lightning Lane or whatever they decide to call it now. But I do feel like we're in a time where it looks like theme parks are dead, but I feel like that is where the norm is. I feel like at a certain period of time, it became where it was so bottlenecked and shoulder to shoulder with people that we automatically subconsciously said that is the new norm. So anytime that you actually get a normal, quote unquote, normal day in the parks, we see it as it being dead, and it really isn't, because there's times where I see a lot of people walking in the park and the wait times are like next to nothing, but there are people in the parks, but it's just, it just depends on like what, each person's preference is. Are they a rider? Do they want to do rides? Do they, not, do they just want to, sightsee, vibes over rides is what OG calls it. So, yeah, so hopefully I am going to keep an eye on it, Kiki and Luca, as time progresses, especially moving into the new year, because we're almost done with 2025. 2025 is pretty much over and done with. So 2026 is upon us. So we'll have to wait and see, how, what the prices are and everything. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Jacob, I do apologize. Yeah, that is the fire alarm thing. Unfortunately, it's out of my hands. I can't do anything with it at the moment. So just I do apologize, everyone. Just bear with me with the beeping. Oh, another good question. Are you guys going to see Demon Slayer? I don't know if Abby would want to see that. I don't know, but actually, I'm very curious about it because now my son absolutely loves the franchise. He loves Demon Slayer. Unfortunately, he lives on the East Coast um, with his mom, so unfortunately, I can't take him to go see it. But I am very curious about it because the fact that um, it's breaking like records of like an anime film that's being released domestically in the U.S. states, and it made what $70 million opening weekend. That's crazy. That's a good crazy, and I feel like that is the route that um, right now it feels like anime was always big, but I feel like now the theme parks are now going to start getting into this and really incorporate the fact of okay, like this is big in in cinema and on streaming, so it's like how can we incorporate this into the theme parks, and I mean I don't know if they would do Demon Slayer just because it's a little bit more adult. um but again, shout out to Lucas Kim for bringing it to our attention that um, One Piece may be coming to the Universal Parks primarily, possibly replacing the Lost Continent, because I feel like One Piece would be a better fit for that, just in my opinion. I know a lot of people are saying um, Zelda, but I feel like Zelda needs to be more bigger, more broader. Um, Needs more room, and I feel like Zelda is more destined for Epic Universe. But One Piece, I think, could fit very well in with the acreage that Lost Continent is, and it kind of already fits in with the architecture. Obviously, you have to tweak it a little bit, but I feel like it can um, definitely work for sure. Um, let's see. Mr. Tech Bear, I did Epic without Express Pass and rode everything. Crowds were very light in Florida, and I went in June. Yeah, that's it. Just seems like that's just the route that it's going. I think the new norm where it seems like it's no people going, but that actually is the norm. Like when I used to go into like the late '90s and the early 2000s. Let's see. Abby's asking, did you watch it to Kiki and Luca? Let's see. He said, yes, saw it. It was jarring at first because I am not familiar with the show, but I liked it and the animation is beautiful. My son is a big fan of. Your son's a big fan of. Sorry, I thought it was continuing. Let's see. Matthew Murr. My money is on Revenge of the Sith for the best soundtrack. Okay, cool. I think honestly, really, I mean, you can't go wrong with the Star Wars soundtrack. You really can't. Um, so I think any answer is the right answer for sure. Let's see. Yeah, so Kev, yeah, you went in June. I went in uh, May. So like literally, so from when I went opening weekend and you went just on a regular every given day, I mean, and that's the summertime too. So I'm even for sure that if I'm going in March, I mean, but then again, it also depends on too on spring break. See, that's where it kind of like gives and takes. Like you don't really know. It's like a roulette. It's like a roll of the dice. It's like summertime could be dead or quote unquote dead, less people, but then you go during like spring break and it's like kaboom, everybody's there. Let's see. Jacob Weller, what's your favorite character meet and greet at Universal? um I'm trying to remember. I don't really do the meet and greets at Universal, but I do at times when during like the fan fest nights out here at in Universal Hollywood. I loved interacting with the characters from Back to the Future. I loved interacting with Marty and Doc Brown and Biff and George McFly and Lorraine. It was like, and just the citizens of Hill Valley. It was really cool. I absolutely love that. Let's see. Lene, the drop of Jurassic and Cali delights me to know. And my favorite drop is on Rise of the Resistance. What's your favorite drop? Yeah, you gotta love the little like butterfly in your stomach drop at Rise of the Resistance. My favorite drop in like just like any of the parks, Disney and or Universal. Um, so for Universal, I love the part on Velocicoaster where it's the second half of the ride where you go even faster and it shoots you up the hill and then it like teeters you for a couple seconds and then drops you. Absolutely love that. For Disney, trying to think. I would say Disneyland's Space Mountain. There's one part of the ride where you can't really see. It's kind of pitch dark, but it does drop you. Like it's not a super big drop, but it just drops you, and it kind of gives you like that unexpected feel. I love that. The final drop of Tiana's Bayou, always classic. Like especially when it was Splash Mountain, um, and then also too. Even though it's not a drop with Cosmic Rewind, I love the scene where it's basically pulling you upward, but while you're rotating, it feels like you're like about to drop, but you're not. It's just the sensation of it. I love that as well. I love the whole sensation of Cosmic Rewind. It's my favorite Walt Disney World ride. Literally in all four parks, that's my favorite ride. Let's see, Remy D with the upcoming Six Flags and Disney Abu Dhabi. Do you think the next hotspot internationally for theme parks is going to be the Middle East? Yeah, it seems like that's the route they're going, Remy D. I feel like there's a huge market out there for it, and I feel like the theme park industry is just banking on it for sure. It's like if they want it, let's give it to them, and especially speaking with, I don't know how it is with Six Flags, but obviously with Disney Abu Dhabi, the fact that the company is willing to kind of do what OLC did for Tokyo Disneyland is they're forking out all the cost for it. So all Disney has to do is just whatever they want, build it, use their R&D, and Disney can kind of utilize that to their advantage, and they can make cheaper by doing double and maybe bringing some of that aspect over to our domestic parks. Because again, I don't think there's a clause or a stipulation in the contract with Abu Dhabi like they have with OLC that stipulates the notion of waiting like 10 plus years before they can use something. I don't think they have that. Yeah, and Abby says, her son loves Demon Slayer too. So I don't know. Maybe Abby. Maybe if maybe if you want to go see it. I mean, we do have the AMC Stubs. Maybe that's a movie. And then we would also do an out of theater reaction. Now, just again, give you guys a little heads up that the out of theater reaction videos moving forward are member exclusive. So if you do enjoy the out of theater reviews or reactions, anytime that we go see a movie in theaters, that is member exclusive. So I just want to throw that out there as well. See, Sean says, is Abby going to be in tonight? I'm not sure, actually. I did ask her if she wanted to join this one, but she just got home from work. So she was just like kind of like relaxing and joining into the chat. But I don't know. I'll see. I'll ask her if she wants to join tonight. Jacob Weller says, I watched the Demon Slayer movie. It was awesome in 4D. Awesome. That's great. And then Lene says, you have to shout pivot even if a koch isn't stuck. It's the law. Very true. That is very true. Let's see. The current parls in the Middle East have relatively low attendance. That's interesting. Let's see. Remy D says, you should do a video on top things you wish theme parks would stop doing. Oh, that's interesting. For me, it's building attendance attractions with a short duration. Oh, that's interesting. Talking to you, Navi River, Tron, and Donkey Kong. I like that idea, Remy D. I like that. Okay, I will. I definitely will consider that. I'll actually start taking notes on it because I am also going to do a video courtesy of Shane Narani that gave me the inspiration for it. I'm actually going to do that one with OG on here on Citrico Central, and it will be for everybody. And Shane's question was if the and I think I'm not going to quote, but I think it was something along the lines, if the Muppets got the land that they were supposed to get with like the Great Muppet movie ride and what have you, and they were going to get the proper land that they were supposed to get, would Disney have replaced that with Monsters Inc.? And I just think that a question like that deserves its own video. So I'm going to do a video on that with OG and Remedy. I do love this as well. So after I'm done recording Shane Narani's request for that, I'll definitely do that one because I do love that one. I definitely will consider that because that would be a great conversation. Lene Ward, let's see. We met people at the Dinosaur Museum that said Express Lane is now better because people complained. Okay. Let's see. Remy D says, yeah, for now, but I wonder if Disney will jumpstart that market. I'm assuming that was for like the Middle East comment. Okay. Let's see. We got Johnny Ace in the house. Welcome in, Johnny. So glad to have you in. Let's see. How do you think the streaming numbers for Elio next week? Ooh, great question. So here's the thing. I enjoyed Elio. I got to see it twice in theaters. It was for a D23 event and then just a regular theater watch that I did with Abby and Mademoiselle. And I enjoyed it. It wasn't my all-time favorite Pixar movie, but I enjoyed it. Now, here's the thing. With a movie like that, I don't think drew enough attention for parents to say, I have the confidence in this movie to spend all the money to take my kids to go see. However, if they have a paid prescription, paid prescription, we're all on pills, paid subscription for Disney Plus, then it comes with the subscription. So why not, say just, what, I'll wait till it goes on Disney Plus and let my kids watch it. Now that'll be very telling. If that is the case and there are high numbers for Elio on Disney Plus, then that says that it just wasn't marketed enough or promoted enough. And it was kind of all over the place. Elio didn't have a snowball's chance in hell of breaking any kind of box office, record or anything. But if it does get the numbers, then that's why. If it doesn't, then it's just a storyline that parents and kids just don't really care for. So I am very curious. And that is a great question. See, Robert Colton Jr., Universal does have amazing customer service compared to Disney. Now, here's the thing with that, Robert. I feel like for me anyways, I can only go by my personal experience. I feel like so far over the phone, I've gotten so much better customer service with Universal than Disney. In the parks, for me anyways, I can only speak for myself, I've gotten better cast member customer service than team member at Universal. Not saying that they were bad. It was just in comparison, but that's where I kind of stand on it. I feel like when needing help, like over the phone or something like on the computer or what have you, Universal has that edge over Disney. And I feel like in the parks, I get a little bit more out of the Disney cast members than I do the Universal team members. Again, that's just me speaking to my own experience. Let's see. Remy D. Yeah, grifters like to celebrate Disney's short wait times. I'm like, keep it coming. That is true. I mean, like, if utilize it, if you can get down there, they also recommend to not stay on property at Epic because it makes it harder to get off property and can feel stuck. Yeah, see, we had the opportunity to stay at the Luna and Nova, like one of those two. But I love staying in the main center resort of Universal because you can get to the studios, you can get to islands, you can get to City Walk, you can get to the other resort hotels. Everything is just right there. Epic is obviously it's part of the Universal Resort, but it's further down, and I feel like it's kind of like a disconnect for me. I'd rather travel to Epic than stay near Epic and travel to the rest. That's my take on it. See, you definitely need Express at HHN though, at least Express after 11. That I completely agree with, Robert, especially unless you have to have like Express or you need early entry or something that will help along, because HHN, I feel like I just did we were there recently and I just released a vlog of HHN. It premiered for members first. They had it for a couple days and it just opened up to everybody today. So everyone definitely check out that vlog here on Citrico Central of HHN. It's hilarious. And we didn't have Express and we didn't even have early entry. We just had general. And we ended up getting through half of the houses. But Abby and I are going back a few more times for sure. So there'll definitely be more content coming out for that. But in the meantime, definitely check out our vlog of our first day at HHN. Not the first day of HHN, but our first day of HHN. But I do agree with you. You definitely, HHN has gone way. I feel like ever since, like, they always had IP attached to HHN, but I feel like this year in particular, they really went all out with the IPs. I mean, you have the WWE's Wyatt Six, you have Five Nights at Freddy's, you have Terrifier, you have Jason. Like, there's Poltergeist. So there's a lot more IP attached to this, and I feel like the more IP that Universal utilizes, I feel like the more and more people are going to HHN, and each year it's just going to get crazier and crazier. And Lene War says, movie review, absolutely, yes. Yeah, we've been doing movie reviews and reactions. Literally, they're recorded outside of the theater right as we're coming out, so you get all the fresh, thoughts, comments, opinions, likes, dislikes, pros, cons, and everything. There are some that were released to the public, and then, as I said, moving forward, they will be member exclusive. Let's see here. Kiki and Luca, regarding Demon Slayer, you can watch it in Japanese or dubbed English. However, it must be seen on a premium screen like Dolby or IMAX. Yeah, I will definitely be seeing the dubbed English because, I mean, even though technically, yes, it is, a Japanese, film, I have a very hard time with reading subtitles because I'm so focused on where the words are, and then I'm like missing what's actually happening. I can't like do both. Let's see, Lene Ward. I'm hoping I can convince Mark to go see Demon Slayer. He should be an anime fan, so maybe this could be his gateway into it. It's planning in 4DX, so I want to try and catch it in that format. Yeah, I definitely would like to see it. Actually, it grew my attention. I did watch some of the shows, the episodes of the show with my son. He introduced me to it because I didn't know anything about it. So I think I watched like the first 2 seasons with him, and then I took him to the theater. They did like an early access preview of like the next 2 episodes. So it was like 2 episodes of Demon Slayer in the theater. And So now this is the actual movie. I definitely would like to check it out. Let's see. Robert Colton Jr. says, "What do you predict the price will be for a 4-park premier annual pass at Universal Orlando?" I'm thinking around $2,000. Um, Honestly, in May, I mean, this is also in Orlando, so Orlando pricing is going to be different from California. Um, I might even say maybe a little bit more, depending on what they offer. Because if you're getting the 3 theme parks plus Volcano Bay for a whole year, I'm gonna say maybe 2,300. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm gonna aim at. And also, too, did you guys hear about? Well, I'm for sure you guys heard about it, but the possible 3-year annual pass for Universal Orlando. Like, obviously, I would think that they have to incorporate Epic into that for sure. But if that's the case, I can see that going well over about $6,000. But again, if you're paying ahead of time, and you know that you're going to go often for like 3 years, it could be a good investment. What I think would be really cool is sort of like what they did when they were kicking off Disney Plus. When I went to the D23 Expo, they had a special where if you bought 3 years worth, you get the 4th year free, which actually I did. And then they had a special with Verizon that you got a free year that as well. So literally I paid for 3 years, and then I got 2 years free of Disney Plus. So I had it for 5 years. Which basically I only started paying for Disney Plus. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it was last year. Last year I started actually paying for Disney Plus. So that would be kind of cool. Like if they really like up the price for that 3-year Universal Orlando annual pass, and say for $7,000. For $7,000, you pay for 3 years, but you get the 4th year free. But essentially, if it would be $2,000 a year, that would be the $6,000, and then they just attach an extra $1,000. But essentially, they call it you get the 4th year free. But really, you're paying for half of a year. But I don't know. As I said, I think that might be a good investment overall. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe even Disney might jump on that train. Remy D says, "I'd say my favorite drop at Universal is the Gringotts drop in the dark and at the beginning of the ride." That's another good one. I do love the that first drop. I do love the end drop, but the first drop on Gringotts, I mean, because it gives you because you're not going through the ride yet, so it's like that initial to get you started. See, Universal Studios in Orlando needs a complete overhaul. 5-screen base rides is overkill time to be innovated. Absolutely, I agree with you, Robert, 150%. The studios needs. I would honestly say that as far as the rides go, they need more. I feel like IOA, as much as IOA needs help, as far as with the the aesthetics of the park, it definitely looks like 90s, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. I do feel that the studios needs more things to do, and then not just screen-based rides. They need to add more. Also, too, I'm very curious to see, if and when Pokemon comes into the picture, because Pokemon may not be as hype and crazed as it was in the 90s and the early 2000s, but I think if they bring it back in a new, fresh way, I think it can start up a whole new generation into Pokemon, because I grew up with Pokemon. That was my jam. That was my shit. Um, um, and I think Pokemon is still relevant enough where it still has a pulse, but I think it needs just a little bit of a electrodes from Pikachu, no pun intended. See Jacob Weller. Demon Slayer has 2 more movies, then it's ending. This is just part 1 of 3. Okay. So the movies is going to end all end Demon Slayer. Is that what I'm not too familiar with it. So, but I think the reception that it got with like $70 million opening, like that's, I could definitely see two more movies doing gangbusters at the box office. Let's see. Got to meet the English voice actor, excuse me, of Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. That's awesome. Abby says, hilarious hearing me scream and cry at HHN. And then Jacob Weller continues, it was at a con. That's cool. See, Remy D says, you should see, forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this right, Niha 1 and 2. If you haven't yet, although dedicate 10 hours for, oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. It's like, here's the thing. Like anime was never really like my big thing, but I am open to watching it. And as I said, I love Studio Ghibli. Like Hayao Miyazaki is like creme de la creme, perfect cherry on top, like story master when it comes to that stuff. Let's see. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting when do they add Epic to the AP? We'll extend the 4 p.m. Express to Epic on the premium tier. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm very curious. And Remy D also continues, I welcome Pokemon as an attraction, but I would majorly disappointed if if it's a game-based attraction. I'm done with shooter rides or anything that requires me to do work. I absolutely agree with you, Remy D. I hear you. Like and that's what I was saying about Smuggler's Run. I am very excited about them adding Mando and Grogu to Smuggler's Run. They're incorporating more of the engineers to, they could pick the location and what have you. And it's very smart. Speaking of like marketing and cross promoting, the fact that they're going to cross promote the ride opening weekend with the movie, like that is like sheer gold for parks and studio. But again, I just want to just sit back and enjoy the ride. Like I don't want to have to do anything. I do like Buzz Lightyear. I do like Toy Story Mania, and after like my arm wants to fall off and what have you. But I agree with you. Like I just want something to just go in and enjoy. Like I would love an immersive, like thrill ride of Pokemon and maybe like a cool dark ride. Like that would be awesome. Now, Remy D, you said as an attraction. Now, would you just want one single attraction of Pokemon, or would you be okay with like a mini land or an entire land dedicated to the franchise? Let's see. Jacob says, I feel they need to add something new to to Universal, not just new, but exciting and enticing. Yeah, they need to add something big and bold. Like they got it out of Epic Universe because it's a brand new theme park. Now they really need to like focus on the other 2 parks and really like hone in on something new and exciting and to draw people back to those parks. Shane Narani says, yes, let's do a park where you capture living creatures in a little ball. Some of those PETA people would be crazy enough to protest this. That is very true. That is very true. I mean, those protesters, they were all gung-ho to the fact of that they had a Kermit the Frog balloon in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. Like, because Kermit the Frog was a balloon. That's bad for the frog community. That's bad for the amphibian community. Let's see. Robert Colton Jr. Disney needs to invest in their water parks. When is the last time one of them even got a new slide? I'm very curious about that, Robert, myself, because it's like they're kind of sitting they're kind of stagnant, like at this point where like they close one down, have one open, vice versa, and everything. But there's nothing like new. But it's almost like Disney doesn't want to get rid of them, but they don't want to invest more into them. So it's like they're just there. I mean, I say honestly, invest in them or get rid of them. Like it's because essentially people are not going to pay the money to go in there. You know, if it's something that they've already experienced before. That's why, like, there were times like we got a free water park day, the day that we checked in. We didn't use it, but you can have a free day at either Blizzard Beach or Typhoon Lagoon upon your first day of check-in if you have a resort stay or a Walt Disney World package. Jacob Weller says, I could see Scooby-Doo rides entering the Universal parks. That'd be really cool. There's also, when we were done in Cabo, they were adding a new kind of like escape room of Scooby-Doo. And I think that would be kind of cool. It wasn't open yet, but I think like if they do like some sort of like interactive kind of thing, like where you have to like solve the mystery, and maybe like, do like a kind of like escape room or a cool dark ride would be really cool. And we got Brian in the house. Welcome in, Brian. Hey, George, how do you feel about the Italy booth at Epcot Food and Wine always being disrespected? And you know what? You know what I have to say about that, Brian? That is just downright sacrilege right there. Because you know why? Because to be an Italian, it's all about respect. There is no disrespect. You have to respect the fellow Italiano. But yes, I definitely agree with you. Like there's no room for that. Let's see, Robert Colton Jr. What do you feel is a worse attraction at Universal Orlando, Fast and Furious or Minion Blast? They're both horrible, but I can handle Minion Blast. I can handle Minion Blast because it's for the kids too. You know, it's all about the kids. I don't know why, but okay. But it's a franchise that I'm not a huge Despicable Me or Minions kind of person, but I can handle it a little bit at a time. The Fast and the Furious, like the party bus going like 100 miles an hour and all that. No, that thing needs to go. And even Universal admitted the fact. Like they don't even know like why they even agreed upon that. I can kind of see it being part of the Hollywood Tram Tour out here in Universal because it fit in like with the Kong kind of thing, but to just make it its own attraction and you're on a party bus and it's like no, it's like there's so much real estate in that area that thing should just be gone. Let's see. Robert Colton says, I love Tutto Italia at Epcot, one of my favorite restaurants at Disney, but geez, the portions are a joke. Yeah, it's for me, like it's all about the portion size. You got to get the right ratio. I do love that restaurant. I also love, and again, I know this isn't like full on Italian, but it is an Italian food. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say I love the Boardwalk Pizza. I do. Abby, I know what you're thinking, and I'm talking about the pizza. I always loved the pizza. And actually, speaking of HHN too, I absolutely loved Freddy's, the Five Nights at Freddy's pizza. It kind of did give off that early like 90s Chuck E. Cheese kind of mixed in with Pizza Hut. And I don't like theme park pizza by all means. Whether it comes from Disney, Universal, theme parks cannot do pizza. But I will say the Five Nights at Freddy's pizza was good, and the Boardwalk pizza at Walt Disney World is some of my favorite. And Robert, it is really underrated. It really is. A lot of people don't know about it, or if they do know about it, they're thinking, okay, it is like that typical theme park pizza. I'm sorry, that pizza is like, I love that pizza. Let's see. See, Abby getting annoyed is a bad omen. Yeah, it's more so there's an underlined joke in there with the boardwalk pizza. So she likes to give me a hard time about it. Let's see. Jacob Weller says, any ex-wife jokes today? Your shirt's amazing. Well, thank you, Jacob. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shirts. I absolutely love it. Any ex-wife jokes? Well, speaking of like going to like, I was going to I did want to take my son to see Demon Slayer because again, he is a huge fan of the franchise and everything. But I mean, why go see Demon Slayer in the theater when he has the full home experience? Oh gosh, I love it. Remy D, I can handle Minion Blast if they gave me a chair, not standing on a conveyor belt holding a 10-pound gun. That's great. That is very true. But it's just in the context of how you put that, Remy D. Like I'm like picturing it in my head. You're standing, you're on a conveyor belt, and they give me a 10-pound gun. Boom. I love it. Oh, that's great. And then we have David Hudson in the house. Welcome in, David. So glad to have you here. I just wanted to watch Han and Chewie pilot the Falcon versus the Empire and not have my view obstructed in the back. Absolutely agree with you. I completely and utterly agree with you 110% that it's like they have you so wrapped up in pressing buttons and pulling levers, and it's like you can't watch what's going on. And honestly, I have to be honest, the graphics on it looks a little like a video game. It doesn't look like a real life, like you're really honestly, I give it more to Star Tours that it looks more realistic than Smuggler's Run. I feel like they're not quite there yet. So hopefully when we get the new footage for Mandalorian and Grogu, that updates as well. The only thing about Star Tours is the unrealism that the one scene that was like in the final scene of the battle of Rise of Skywalker, when you hit the light speed, you literally go through all the ships. Like it's just like see-through. You just go through. To me, that was kind of like unrealistic. Jacob, well, I'm glad you enjoyed that. That was awesome. It's always good, fun times hanging out with you guys. I love it. And Brian says, thank you to whoever gifted me a membership. Yes, you were gifted a membership, Brian. So glad that you were able to become a member. And definitely check out the members only content. There, I did a members only live. There's some members only videos on there. There's a lot more to come with the membership. So hopefully you enjoy it. And for everyone who is a member, does enjoy it as well. For who gifted you the membership, I believe there were a few people that gifted memberships. It was on one of my first lives. It was either Mademoiselle, Kev, or Mr. Tech Bear gifted one. And Kiki and Luca, I mean, he like gifted, I think, like 15 people. So if I had to guess, more so it was probably Kiki and Luca, but it still could have been Mademoiselle or Mr. Tech Bear, because they were very gracious and generous enough to gift some people memberships. So absolutely. So I mean, great conversation, guys. Like this is awesome. Like I enjoy like having every single one of you in here. It's phenomenal. And again, I really do appreciate it. Literally, I do mean it. This is awesome. See, Robert Colton Jr. says, I think the next two lands that are locked at Epic will be Wicked and Zelda. Yes, I do, but I do agree with you. They've mentioned Wicked so many times at hinting, and I really can't see Wicked in the studios or at Islands of Adventure. I feel like, plus, Wicked gives a whole new demographic of having like young girls want to go to Epic. So you kind of have that ratio of having things for young boys, young girls, and then they meet in the middle. And I think Epic will do that for sure. And I also agree with Zelda. They kind of already hint that he's part of like the stained glass window. And again, I think with Zelda, you need a more bigger, bolder land than just the 5 acres at Lost Continent. Also, too, I hope if and when they do Zelda, that they lean more towards a live action feel and not like a pixelated kind of notion. Like I hope they give it like a real on kind of action adventure kind of feel to it. Also, too, another IP I would love Universal to use, and I know there's probably a lot of stipulation when it comes to this, but is Lord of the Rings. I would absolutely love to see Lord of the Rings come to Universal. You talk about epic. I mean, if they were to do Middle Earth with the giant volcanic, volcano with the eye in the center, and like, oh my God, like that would be epic if they can pull off Lord of the Rings, because literally there's 6 movies, like as far as like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and then you have the Hobbit trilogy, and they even have some animated films based off of the Lord of the Rings as well. So I mean, there's a lot of ideas and content that they can use in that for sure. But in any case, it's coming up on 2 hours. I would love to continue this live, but I also got to get ready for live number 2. So don't think like this is just ending the one. So if you guys have the time and you want to hop on for more conversation, I'm going to have Sean on from Walt's apartment, and that is going to be at 6:30 Pacific time. So in about an hour, we go live again. So if you guys want to jump on, please feel free to do so. I love this interaction. I love the conversation. I love hanging out with you guys. It's always a great time. But really quick, let's see, Brian, did you see Disney has some new digital comics now? I have not looked at them, but I have heard that they do. So I think honestly, the comic book industry, but not like an actual book, but I feel like comics in general is coming back in a big way. And I think Disney's going to, jump on that train along with Epic Games. I think Disney is going to go out in a big way. And I think they're just kind of like trying to connect themselves with these hot item takes that will project them even more to get an even bigger demographic with the Disney brand, for sure. But again, I want to thank you all for joining me today on this live. It is like hitting almost 2 hours, which is phenomenal. I love when the lives go long like that, because that means we're having a great time. We're having a fun conversation and everything. But as I said, the party's not over yet. At 6:30 Pacific time, almost 1 hour from now, we're going live again. Just like Bob Iger, we're doing 2. But I will have a special guest on, Sean from Walt's apartment. We're going to dive deep into more stuff. If you guys have more questions, comments, concerns, opinions that you want to throw out in the live, and also see if Sean wants to address some of those, definitely jump on the next live at 6:30 Pacific time. We would love to see you there. And really quick, got to do my plug-in. I am also an affiliate of the Magic Candle Company. If you have not been to the Disney parks recently, but you are homesick, go on to magiccandlecompany.com. They have a plethora of items from candles, oils, sprays, soaps, what have you, all that good stuff that could bring the magic of Disney into your very own home. Upon checkout, use my promo code Citrico15 for 15% off your entire order. And again, that is not a one-time deal, folks. That is every time you make a purchase with Magic Candle Company on magiccandlecompany.com. Upon checkout, use promo code Citrico15 and you'll get 15% off every single time, guarantee. Yes, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining. See, Lene, Mark says hi from the bus. He's stuck on downtown right now. Tell Mark we say hello. We miss him. We miss you. But glad to see you guys are doing the move, and you're going to be back on soon. And again, thank you all so much for joining this live. As I said, I love doing these lives. I love interacting with all of you. And yeah, and Sean says, love to answer anything you want to ask. See you soon, George. Yes, see you soon. And again, hope to see you all back here in an hour for round 2 of a Citrico Central Live featuring Sean from Walt's apartment. Again, I love and appreciate every single one of you. And as I always say, I'm George, the Disney Italiano. And as I always say, in Disney Italiano fashion, stay safe, stay healthy, stay Disney. Italiano